Welcome everyone, today I'm here to discuss the new Voli build that's been gaining popularity in Korea and is being widely used, including by myself. Before we delve into the build, let's talk a little bit about the buffs Voli received in the patch 14.4. And to sum it up really quickly for you, you have more speed, your E has less cooldown, and your R has less cooldown but also stuns towers for less time. Additionally, the champion status changed from CC immune to unstoppable, and now you might be wondering about the difference between the two. And to be honest, I don't know and I don't really care. But setting the buffs aside, let's focus on the build. For the runes, you'll want to go with Grasp, Demolish, Second Wind and Revitalize. The crucial part is choosing Domination as the secondary tree, where you'll pick Taste of Blood and Ingenious Hunter. I'll explain why the latter is crucial shortly. As for the items, start with Unending Despair, then build into Fimbul Winter and Spirit Visage to complete the core items. After that, you have flexibility with items like Zonia's, Iceborne Gauntlet, Frozen Heart, Sterak's Gauge and Jack Show. Now let's get into the theory behind the build. The key lies in Ingenious Hunter. This rune reduces the cooldown of your items. This means that Unending Despair's cooldown is reduced, allowing its passive that deals damage to the enemy and heals you for 250% of that amount to proc more often. The same applies to Fimbul Winter, which shields you when you stun or slow an enemy, and Spirit Visage enhancing all of these effects. But it's enough talk and let's jump into the games. In the majority of games with Volibear, what you'll want to do is pushing your wave and either try to dive your enemy laner, take plates or waste enemy jungler's time, or in the best of the cases, what you'll want to do is kill both of them. But since you have Demolish, you can easily proc it on the tower and run away for some golden pressure, and you will probably lure the enemy jungler to your lane. This said, you're seeing the gameplay on the background, where I'm using my pressure to die to enemy mid and jungle. But back to the Voli's game plan, if the enemy laner thinks he can fight you, you'll probably be able to kill him in a 1v1 most of the times. This is most of the times because the enemy doesn't know how your W works, marking the enemy with the first W, and when you use it for the second time, you heal for tons of HP. And just as I said, I killed the enemy's Jax, procced my Demolish on the tower and got chased by the enemy's mid laner. And this play would have been perfect if it wasn't for this rat. Because of this minion, the enemy knew I hid on the bush and I couldn't juke them to where I was going. And again, back to the pressure, make the enemy Jax go under tower, take the plate and waste jungler's time. And even the enemy mid laner went to chase me this time, to which I just had to TP losing nothing. At this point, even though my score doesn't look like it, I'm super strong. And with good map movement, I managed to transform what would have been a 2v2 mid into a 3v1 for my team. And again, back to Destroy Tower Simulator, but this time he probably got tilted and for some reason he wanted to go 1v2 against two champions with point and click stuns, blessing him with grey screen and a fast base. Just like Master E, there he was seeking the same grey screen treatment, so I just needed to run into her, apply my stun, allowing Twisted Fate to hit, and with this elimination we secured an uncontested Baron. And if you've seen any of my previous videos, you should know what time it is. However, if you've never seen one, I recommend that you like and subscribe, and yes, it is troll time. So with a good mix of bad positioning and terrible focus, we lose every single Baron buff while getting aced. But it didn't matter all that much, because in the next play the enemy team tried to copy us, dying one by one, leaving their base exposed. So at this point we just needed to fight Baron and go to end the game, but even that was unnecessary, because even if we lose the fight, Twisted Fate was already doing a backdoor, wrapping the first game in this manner. And since we're playing a tank and we don't care about how much damage we dealt, here is the healing done and the self-mitigated damage that comes from shields and resistances. But done with this game, let's jump into the next one, where I play against a Hilaoi. But since this Hilaoi didn't give me much trouble, I'll leave her to die in the background and talk with you about Voli's matchup. Since I was picking Voli every single game and even blinding him in most matches, I came to the conclusion that when fighting bruisers or tanks, you're most probably in a good matchup. However, if the enemy picks a ranged top laner, you'll have a tough time dealing with that, because Voli doesn't do much more than running to reach the enemy. If you can't get your W healing and your items going, you'll probably die like a bot. But going back to the game, as you can see at this point, I'm just a raid boss, even being able to go 1v2 against Illaoi and Kha'Zix. But even though I'm extremely fed, Illaoi kept coming to fight me for some reason, getting me even more fed. And even though the game was going smoothly on the top side of the map, the bot lane was doing their job of pinning the enemy bot lane. And by thinking that I was unkillable, I ended up giving a 1k gold shutdown to Samira. A 1k gold that didn't took long before it was handed back to me, because those two thought it would be a good idea to dive a full tank Volibear. And just like that, with another pick on Samira, who was the only strong member in the enemy team, we killed the enemy team one by one. With all of the enemy team dead, all we needed to do was destroying their base. To wrap up this game in order to go for the next one, here are the graphs of healing done, self-mitigated damage, and the damage dealt and tanked. Now, for the last game, I was playing against a set top. The matchup didn't feel particularly challenging, but based on previous games, I'm starting to notice a pattern. I tend to push the first waves, roam to find the enemy jungler, and often end up getting killed by them. However, it's not a big deal because the wave was backing for me, causing Set to lose a lot of experience. But unlike other games, my team was feeding like there's no tomorrow. With some picks here and there, I started to notice that the enemy team was chasing me everywhere. So what I've done was baiting the whole enemy team to go kill me bot, while I pinged my team to start Baron. This play was probably the single most important play of the game, since with this Baron we managed to turn the game around. With the Baron buff on our side, we managed to extend the game until Kassadin and Jinx reached their power spikes, and later finding a crucial pick on Karma allowed us to create a 4v5 situation against the enemy team.
One eternity later.
And as you can see at this point, with this Drain Tank build, my HP doesn't go down due to W heal, Unending Despair and Fimbulwinter. Because of this, I just need to provide a solid frontline for my team that grant us this fight, and later we got the Elder Dragon. And with the Elder Dragon and another pick on Karma, we snowball the game, getting another Baron buff and later finding this team fight. And if you've reached this point of the video, thank you for watching. If you could take a moment and leave a like and subscribe, it would greatly support the channel. Creating these videos involves a significant amount of time for recording and editing. Your support means a lot to me.